Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Selling the Stateline vlog, video blog. I'm your host, John Broda, the Rockstar Realtor with the Broda Rockstar Group. And while you're all watching this today, it's a pre-recording. I am currently not in this beautiful office, but I'm sitting on a cruise ship right now, somewhere in the Caribbean between Orlando and or I should say Port Canaveral and St. Kitts right around now. Maybe I've already gotten to St. Kitts and I'm heading towards St. Thomas. I'm not sure where we are right now, but I didn't want to have a week go by without giving you guys a little more content. So today I don't have a market report and obviously I don't have an interview. But what I do have for you is some advice. The importance of a home inspection and the importance of knowing the difference between purchasing a house as is and purchasing a house normally on the contract. So let's start with a home inspection. What is a home inspection? Do houses pass or fail? No, a home inspection is done most of the time by a licensed professional in the state. In Illinois, you have to be licensed to be a home inspector with the state of Illinois, just like I have to be licensed to be a realtor, a real estate professional. You're not a realtor unless you're a member of the National Association of Realtors. And, like an interior designer needs to be licensed to do interior design work, or an electrician or a plumber or a roofer need a license with the state in order to do their work. Same goes for a home inspector. So they need to be licensed in order to perform that job. And that job is checking the systems of a house. It's not a pass or fail. It's pointing out deferred maintenance items. If you don't paint your outside, if it needs paint and it's cracked and rotting, that's a deferred maintenance item. If it's rotted to the point that the framing has rotted out, that is now a safety issue. And that's our second thing we look for. So it's deferred maintenance. They look for safety issues. They look for the age and workability of mechanical systems. So they check the furnace to make sure it works, the air conditioner to make sure it works, if it's a central air unit. They check the appliances. They run the dishwasher if there is one. They turn on the stove and check all the burners. They get the oven heated up. They run the washing machine. They run the dryer. They check the refrigerator, make sure the temperatures are right, make sure the water and the ice maker work. Like, these are all the systems of the house. They check the water heater for how old it is and to see if there's any signs of wear or damage, or where it's about to rust out at the bottom and flood the basement. They will check the electrical panel and make sure that the wiring is right. A lot of houses, you have aluminum wire or copper wire, but you can't have copper and aluminum touching each other. Two metals don't mix. There's old cloth wrapped wire. There's knob and tube, which is no. Now it's a major safety issue. They check to make sure outlets are grounded. And just because an outlet isn't grounded, maybe, and when I say grounded, the three prongs, you plug it in, that third prong, the single one, the round one, that's a ground. If the outlet is grounded, it means that it's attached to a line that grounds it to outside. So if lightning hits a building, it goes to the ground. It doesn't come through the outlet. It allows for protection of your devices if there's a surge. But houses built before a certain time are grandfathered in not to have grounds. But a lot of people will swap the 2-prong outlet for a 3-prong grounded outlet and not have a ground. That's a no-no. It's allowed, but because people do it for convenience, but the ground doesn't mean anything. So we're not going to ask somebody to rewire a whole house, but we are going to ask for maybe a ground fault interrupter to be put in, a GFCI, maybe a breaker that does that same job on that line as a ground fault interrupter. You're going to check for plumbing drains to drain properly. So this is all the stuff the inspector does. They also get up on your roof and they check for the age and condition of your shingles, the flashing, the chimney if there is one, the venting for the exhaust of the house. They will check for around windows and around doors, the thresholds, make sure things aren't rotted. They will look for signs of termites, but it's not a termite inspection. They will look for signs of, other issues like mold-like substance, but they can't say mold because they're not certified to identify mold. Now, the thing that identifies mold to me is my nose. I can smell mildew and a moldy smell, but I mean, that doesn't mean I could tell you it's mold either. I'm not certified in mold remediation. I'm not a licensed tester. So, but they could say there's a substance that looks like it and we should get a test. The furnace is working. We should probably have it checked though, because some of the parts look old. It's 30 years old. There's certain things they can't do. If there's a drop ceiling in the basement, they can't open up the ceiling tiles to look at what the conditions are above that. So that's a rough one, because you want to know if there's open junction boxes. You want to know if there's bad drains. You could usually tell when you look at a drop ceiling if there's a leak somewhere. There's a big stain in it. So, but that's what they check in basements. They check to see how the foundation looks for cracks on the basement. They'll check for water lines and moisture. So, I mean, they do a lot. And then they write up a report. And that report gets sent to the home buyer. And the home buyer will go through that report with their realtor usually. And we'll go through and look for safety items. A safety item would be no GFCI near a sink in the kitchen or the bathroom, or no carbon monoxide detector or smoke detector, or non-functional ones, or, peeling paint. If it's a house built before 1978 and it's an FHA contract, we're going to be required to mitigate that because we have to assume there's lead paint there. We don't know if we don't test, but we have to assume it's there. We'll go through and ask for certain items. Maybe there's a broken door and we're going to ask for that door to be repaired, or maybe the dishwasher doesn't work and it says it comes with a dishwasher. So we want to make sure that there's a dishwasher. So we put that in our repair rider. So that's the importance of those things. But, even when you do all your due diligence and you have a report and you go through it and you look at it and it all seems really good, there's certain things they can't do. So middle of winter, they can't test the air conditioner. So there's a line in the contract. I'm going to pull it up real quick. I have my handy phone right here in front of me. And there's a clause here in our Rockford area contract. It's line 12. It's called the seller warranty. And it states basically that the seller agrees to deliver possession of the premises and personal property in the same condition as the date of this contract. Or ordinary wear and tear is accepted. So, I walked into the house and there's a stain on the carpet from the front door to the kitchen because that's the traffic zone. I knew that when I bought it. I accept that. That stain might look a little worse by the time I close in 30 or 45 days, but we accept that to be as it is. All right. The buyer acknowledges that the buyer has inspected the premises and the personal property, because the personal property is the stuff like the refrigerator that stays with the house, the stove. That's not a fixture of the home. It's not like a light fixture that's attached to the wall. It's something that can be removed very easily and without one doesn't cause any issue. So the buyer acknowledges that buyer inspected the premises and personal property and is adequated with its condition and accepts the same in as-is condition as the time the buyer executed this contract, except seller warrants. This is where it gets tricky. Seller warrants the heating and air conditioning equipment and systems, water heater, water softener if applicable, plumbing and electrical equipment and systems, kitchen appliances, and where applicable, the septic system, the well, swimming pools and equipment, and sprinkler systems to be in normal operating condition as of the time of the possession of transfer. The system shall be deemed to be in normal operating condition if it has performed the function for which it is intended, regardless of the age. So I don't care if that furnace or that air conditioner is 50 years old. It worked last summer when they lived there. They didn't have to fix it. You have a home inspection in the winter. They can't turn on the air conditioning system. They're selling it to you saying it works. And we warranty that it worked last summer and it works. And if something happens within 6 months of closing, so I buy the house in February, it's cold. I can't have the home inspector turn on the air conditioning to check the house. Now we get a heat wave like we've had in Rockford the last week. That early summer, we're getting no spring and everybody's turning on their air. Well, here we go. The air conditioner doesn't work. You just bought the house in February. It's now May. That's within the 6-month window. The AC was supposed to work. It was assumed to be in working order. Everybody acknowledged it and agreed to it in the contract. So now guess who's liable for that repair? The seller. So we have to, in writing, and that says it right in here, if said equipment could not be tested by the buyer or the buyer's licensed home inspector at the time of any inspection conducted with conjunction of this contract, in writing, you have to request and it's covered. So now the only time that does not work is if they initial, and I don't know if you could even see that here, the as is. If the seller and buyer initial that, so I initial, the house is being sold as is 100%. And we initial this clause here, and then we initial the clause on page 7 of the 6 on the contract as well, then we're SOL. That's an industry term for we're out of luck, basically. So that's where the importance of this is. So you want to only buy if you're made aware you are looking at a house, it's being sold as is. That means other than a safety issue, we're not warranting anything. We're not saying the furnace works. We're not saying the AC works. If you can't test it, oh well. If you're telling me it's broken, we're not fixing it. It's your responsibility. We priced it accordingly to deal with any issues that might come. That's what selling a house as is. Everybody says, I want to sell my house as is. Okay, your prerogative. Doesn't mean that I can't come back and ask for stuff and the repair rider, but it is as is. It just means that in this situation, you're off the hook because we acknowledge that we would take on that responsibility. Now, even if you buy a house as is, this is where I want you to go one step further. And since I don't have a guest, I'm going to do a plug. You go one step further and you call my good friend at Choice Home Warranty. You call Denise, and she will help us get you a home warranty. Whether the seller will give it to you, we could negotiate that into the contract, or you purchase it yourself. I mean, it's $580. It's a $65 service call, and it covers these issues. So we turn on our air conditioner for the first time, and we had our home inspection, and you could not inspect it at that time. Guess what? It's serviceable because it's supposed to have been in working order at the time of sale. So home warranties are great. You just need to know which ones to work with and how to work those. And that's something I can help you with as your realtor or any of the great realtors here in town. I mean, I always say this, and I mean, yeah, it's my channel, and I want you to buy with Broda. I want you to go here to eXp Realty. That's what I want you to work with. But, I'm not going to say we don't have great realtors in town that have your interest at heart. I just want to be the one that works with you myself. So I'm going to get going now. This is the end of my little tip for the week. I will be back in town on the 23rd of May. And I'm hoping to have a new interview ready to go after I get back. Hopefully we'll record it that day and get it out right away so there's no lag. But until next time, please go to buywithbroda.com. If you have any questions on how to search, you're looking for property, you can search for properties at buywithbroda.com. You can also find out what your home is worth. If you're a homeowner, go to buywithbroda.com, hit the search tab, hit the what's my home worth tab, and type in your full address. I need this number, the street name, the city, and the zip code. And you'll get an automated, boom, 100%. It'll give you your valuation of your house within minutes. It'll come to you via email. So, I mean, just give me all the information though, so we could do the right job for you. Because a lot of times people don't put it in there. And I got to go back in the system and check it. I'm not going to be back for a couple of days. So you're going to have to wait for it. All right. So, and always, you like the page, you like the content, please subscribe, write us a review, comment in the thread if you have any questions about home inspections or home warranties. And, remember, always buy with Broda. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a great rest of your week. And I look forward to talking to you all soon.